Okay, hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. It's still the 5th, and I just made that video, and I titled it Out of Line Visit, Department of Agriculture. Now, this is the Michigan Department of Agriculture. This isn't like USDA. That's the United States Department of Agriculture. The Michigan Department of Agriculture, I titled it Out of Line Visit, and I did that visit tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't a visit at all. A visit is when you call somebody up and say, hey, can we come over and, see what you're doing, or, we have some business to conduct, or something like that. That's a visit. But showing up 9 o'clock in the morning when I'm not home and just my children are home, that's something completely different. That is something completely different. And I'm just going to leave it right there. But the line was crossed right there, I believe. And that's why I said out of line, definitely out of line. But there's a couple other points here that I think people need to know. And as we enter into an age of truth, which I think we are, and time will tell, you'll see. I could be way off on this. My tree hugger capabilities to feel the universe might not really be in line with reality. I could be wrong, but I don't. I don't think things are as they have been for a long time. I think things are changing. And honestly, I don't think this has anything to do with, a change in president or anything like this. I think it is different. There's a collective consciousness of people because of the internet and because of communication and things like this. But people are coming together and they're saying, hey, wait a minute, this ain't right. All right, so there's a couple other pertinent facts on this. I have in my hand here my license from the Department of Ag. It's a little bit tattered here, but you can see there is an expiration date on that. Is that focusing okay? If you can't see it, I'll tell you what it is. It's April 30th of this year. This expires. Now, some of you might be saying, well, get the stupid license and shut up. Well, I've had at least 11 of these licenses. When we first started this farm, we were told we had to have a license to sell our chickens and to butcher in our shop and all that. So we went and got a license. It was $70. And they kind of came and they filled us in on all the nuances of doing business. All right. And then for a lot of years, I think 11 years, there hasn't been a problem. We send in our check, and they send us our license, and they don't come here, they don't talk to us. We didn't even know who they were for the most part. I did know who the inspector lady was, but it was never anything. We went through a couple inspectors, they rotate around, but there was never a problem. This was last year. We sent our money in, and they never sent us the license, but they did cash the check. So my wife inquired, and that's when this whole thing became an issue. And they're saying that we didn't comply with an inspection, but that's not true. What happened was they came here and they issued a search warrant, and I did not comply with that, but they didn't execute it because they did not have the fortitude to do it. And they had state police with them that day, too. But the point is, this license expires in 25 days. And they haven't sent me the paperwork to issue a new one, to renew, which they usually do about the first of the year. So why is it that they wouldn't just not issue us another license? Why is it? Why is it that they're detailing a state policeman from his duties to protect and defend the people in this state to come here and protect and defend what they are doing? Why is that? You have to ask yourself that question. I'm not really here to defend the state police. I'm not. I'm just telling you, they're not the culprits here. They are men under orders. They get the word, hey, this is where you're where you're going today, and they carry out their orders, and that's how it works. They're not freelance agents out there. And but this type of thing, a food inspector, that kills me. A food inspector issuing a search warrant has to detail state policemen away from the roads and where the real threat is to the public. And they bring them to a family farm, run by an American GI. You see how backwards this is and what a waste of resources this is. If you state policemen out there, the ones that I've met have all been top-notch, and I feel as though we are on the same page most of the time. I don't agree with every other GI that comes down the pike, but I believe we're on the same page, protect and defend these people out here. How do you feel being pimped like this? And also, you must realize that if they come to you and they say, this farmer is a threat to us, and he's not, then they're creating a safety issue. They are creating an issue out of thin air. It's sort of like Josh Phelps going into that store and saying, he's under investigation. See, you see the lack of professionalism here? But this lack of professionalism is resulting in a family being put out of business. This is what we do to feed our children, by the way. And now this second thing, going to the state police and saying that there's some sort of threat here, creates a safety issue that could lead to a problem. Now, if you state police, I want you to know, I have two big dogs here. They're Great Pyrenees, but they're a threat to no man. They're a threat to coyotes and possums and things like that. So please, do not shoot my dogs when you come up the driveway. Please, do not shoot my dogs. Please, I'm asking you, do not. They're my children's dogs. But this is the situation that's being created by this Department of Agriculture. Also, they can get me to comply, right, with their regulations, right? We're a constitutional republic, a representative republic governed by a constitution. I have constitutional rights. And they're saying, yes, you do, but you must comply with our regs. The state police really should say, you know what, boys, you're on your own. If you think you can enforce that, go for it. But I think things are changing, and I believe that a time is coming where the state police will be investigating the Department of Agriculture. Who in the hell do you think you are? These people are out there growing food. And that's another thing. Department of Agriculture is going to tell you that without them, food safety would be an issue. That is such a load of baloney. All right, for 10 years now, we write a check, they send us this chunk of paper, this stupid piece of paper that they send. Display proudly, they say on it. It even says that on that. They send this. When I started, this was $70 10 years ago. It's $185 this year, $187 this year. $187. And it's not like they come and say, well, we've studied techniques on chicken butchering. We can help you with some. No, there's no value adding at all. You pay for this, but if you don't have this, they come up the driveway with the state police. That's wrong. That is totally incorrect, what's going on. And I think cooler heads need to prevail here and say, this is not the function of the state police. The function of the state police is to protect and defend the people, to respond to traffic accidents out on the highways and to chase criminals. Because there are bad people and bad situations in our society, and that's why we need the state police. I wish we didn't need them, but we do. Like the military, we need the military because there's bad situations and bad people. We're neither, and there's no bad situations happening here. I've been operating this farm for 14 years. I built it from nothing, right? We have never had a complaint about the wholesomeness of the food that we have sent out of here. Never. Not one. Not even one. No one's ever complained. But they are going to complain this time because shutting us down is going to result in all of these customers needing to procure food someplace else. Therein lies the key to this operation. Who benefits? Who benefits from shutting this farm down? It isn't my customers. Figure out who benefits, and you'll know who the beneficiary is of this corporation known as Department of Agriculture. It's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Anyone can farm.